Hello and welcome to episode 425 of Tenno Clock, because there's so many numbers we just forget. I am MDRLOz, this is Xeno, and we're going to sit here and mumble on about Warframe for probably about 2 hours.
Yeah.
As we normally tend to do. So we will get straight into it, and we will begin, as we normally do, with some emblems.
Oh, Loz wins.
I win, hands down. That's a good one.
Hands down. I was like, you know what?
So good.
I could burn something. Like, I didn't have many left to burn, but you know, there you are. You're fucking trumping me without even trying. Captain
It looks like a floating little game card. It's so good that one.
It really does. Yeah. It's so good.
It's so good.
So nice.
However, if you want to win 75 platinum,
are you expecting me to take over?
No, can't remember. I always forget. I want to say 150, but that was years ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, so if you at home wants to win 75 platinum, what you need to do is go into the description of this video, where you will find a Google link to a page, which is a Google form of some form created by Xeno's mad constructs of wizardry. And on that form, you must fill in all of your information and also vote for which is the better emblem. I do believe we still do that. And then if you put in your correct name for your in-game alias for Warframe and the platform that you're playing on, you will be in of a chance to win 75 platinum. We give out 75 platinum for PC, each handout is one for PC, one for PS4 or PS5, I don't know what, PlayStation, whatever.
Just PlayStation.
One for various forms of Xboxes and one for various forms of Switches. Yep. So
only one form of Switch.
No, well, there's what are you talking about? There's Switch Lite, and then there's whatever I call this one over here, which I can't remember.
Switch
OLED.
Pro, clearly.
Yes, definitely. That's totally coming out this year, by the way, and then I'll be like, God damn it! Right, anyway, let us move on. So that is it. As we say, go to the description, follow the link, put in your details. Please make them be correct. So many times, just cries. He cries at home. He sits in the corner any time someone wins platinum, but they don't get it because the name is wrong. He cries. He curls up into a little fetal ball in a corner, and he just sobs his eyes out knowing that some people won't be getting their platinum. So please make sure you get your details correct. Right, that is it for that. Let's put the emblems away and move on to I was going to skip straight to topics, but not. We've got Dojo Dusting first. Like, let's go to topics. I've done that in years.
So the big one is
the big one.
There's going to be a bit of an interruption to recording 10 o'clock. In a few months' time.
You're not going to find someone else to do it?
Yes.
Yeah. Right, so now I'll say it then. There might be a bit. I'm moving location soonish in February. I don't quite even know when I'm moving or when I'm moving into my new place. So there's going to be a bit of disruption, probably. Expect disruption or me to disappear for probably a few weeks. Hopefully by, I would imagine, early to mid-March, I'll be settled in my new place with my new job, and then I will be good. Yep. And then everything go back to normal. But just to let people know, as a heads up, there might be that. Which is annoying because I think things are going to be happening hopefully soon. Or we might know things that might be happening. No, let's be fair. Nothing's going to be released till March.
But yeah, so I've already coordinated with Nazeth, who is going to fill in for Loz.
Oh, sweet.
We will be recording on Saturdays as opposed to Fridays. But yeah, so Nazeth is going to cover for Loz while Loz is trying to get himself sorted out with new internet, new accommodations, and all that stuff.
For good internet. Oh, and start streaming.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Have you ever considered streaming?
Well, I just can't on this internet. It's the same with you.
That's fair.
Yeah. Mine is just because it's unreliable. I think this one could stream, but it's just. I think I did in the past actually, but it's just unreliable. Is my problem. Yeah.
Well, I think it's very interesting how today your internet's being particularly garbo and you have to use your phone.
Well, yes.
And yet last night it was perfectly fine. So I'm like, who needs to turn off the torrents on their internet connection?
Well, no, I would say it's half garbo today, but the Friday and Thursday it was utterly useless. Utterly useless. Yeah. Just like, what's the point? Yeah. We'll see. Right. Anyway, it's so important these days, but both of us who do so much stuff for the internet have decided to live in places where we don't have control of good internet. I am going to move and I am going to get good internet.
I was lied to.
You were lied.
I was lied to.
I was lied
to.
I was deceived.
Yeah, right. Should we move on to...
Any Dojo Dusting?
Da.
Obviously, just going to keep saying, reminder out there that there's Kampai Cast, which is an anime based
Yep.
podcast you can watch that we do, which is good fun. That will
Yep.
also have probably a little bit of disruption soon. But and there's also Xeno's bringing back. I assume Warframe Arbiters will probably come back soon as with there's content and things like dev
Well,
streams.
so if there's stuff to talk about, then I will do Arbiters.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, there's the alternative Notice Me Senpai.
So, yeah.
Um,
So there will be
there's
content. There will be content.
Yes. I'm also going to start playing around with you know the YouTube channel Veritasium, yeah?
Yes, I know that name.
Yes. Yeah, the science one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically I just watched a video of his where he's talking about like how to do thumbnails and YouTube video titles and stuff like this because you try to drawing the attention of the viewer base and I'm like, I might start playing around with thumbnails and so if you see stuff change like that's what that is, but it'll most likely be on my main channel. Anyway, right.
Okay.
What I think that is it for Dojo Dusting.
Cool.
Yeah. Should we move on to the war report?
There we are. That still needs to be more dramatic, that war report. Actually, no. Or maybe it's completely right because it's just as dramatic as the new war was.
Loz is getting more jaded as time goes on.
I'm just slowly turning into jade.
Yeah.
But the only thing I've really got on here is the coming soon. The dev stream 159 has been announced for Friday, January 28th at 2 p.m. ET.
So when was that?
What?
No. When did you say it was?
Coming soon, dev stream 159, Friday, January the 28th at 2 p.m. ET. See,
that sounds like Xeno was right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no.
Sorry, terrible
yeah,
joke.
I really thought they'd slip into February. They're gonna do it, which I think it's good, don't we? I mean, I think it's better that it is. They squeeze it into January. It should have been earlier, to be honest. Even just if they want to sit down and have a chat. Seeing as I honestly don't think they're gonna there'll be that. Well, I hope there is stuff to announce, but really, I'm surprised they didn't do one sooner, which was just kind of a post new war, let's sit and have a chat thing, rather than I mean, if they pushed it back to now, I do hope there is something to announce and they're going to say all the good stuff that's coming and they actually talk about it and saying, oh yes, hush projects are coming. I'm sick of that, so sick of that.
Yeah, I really hope that I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, I really hope we don't see another cinematic quest for a few years because
they're all encompassing in their development.
I really, really appreciate the fact that they're working on the cinematic quests, and they don't want to spoil any of it. 100% appreciate that. But the problem is, I'm now staring at 5 lovely individuals in a very pretty room for an hour, and I'm getting nothing out of it. Oh no! Watch a dev stream.
I see. You mean because they do like to do cinematic quests with like secrets and things. It means they can't release anything. Yes. So we've got an hour of them going. Oh, we've got a cinematic quest coming. And you're like, that's nice.
I already know that part.
I already knew that. Oh, it's gonna be good. It's like just no cinematic quests. Let's have. I think this year, I want to see one or two new tile sets. Maybe I want to see maybe a small quest like Tempestari. It's weird. My fondness for Tempestari is rising as my fondness for the new war just keeps dropping.
Like
even though I've got problems with that quest.
For me, I'm starting to see the whole side of sod the story, right? Just give me gameplay, and that's that's part of the problem. Is like, okay, I've done the new war. Now what? They need new game mechanics and things like that. They need to spice it up. And we spoke at length last night about the whole.
No. I just want to say when you say game mechanics, I want to point out, right? It's nothing to do with the player. The player has a Swiss Army knife of toys and tools to use. We don't need that. We need new scenarios and situations to use it in. Like, I don't know, fighting on trains.
Or let's have events or tactical alerts.
Let's take railjacks into the atmosphere. Things
or
like
a night wave.
Or a tactical or an operation.
Right. Anyway, isn't today, which is Monday the 24th, as
yes,
this comes
wink,
out,
wink.
the last. What do you mean, wink, wink?
Yes, because it's not. You're saying today, but it's not today. But yes, it is. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but isn't it the last day for Prime Resurgence?
Ooh,
Doesn't it end tomorrow
ooh,
on Tuesday, the 25th of January? Because I
ooh.
think it does, which means that if you've got any of the Ire or Regal Ire just sat in your Magoobas, you may want to
Yeah.
go spend that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today's the last day,
I mean,
lovelies.
it totally isn't Monday, but it says right for us right now in the whatever time it is. It says 3 days, 4 hours left. So
Yeah.
also 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's gonna
So,
be 6 o'clock. So then 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So I think you'll have about a day from when this comes out.
yeah. Right. I think that's everything for the war report.
Cool. Moving on.
There's,
Let's talk
yeah.
about topics.
Right, so we got the topic. So the first topic, why do I have that open? The first topic is I firmly believe the law needs to move backward instead of forward, which we spoke about last night is not the topic that I thought it was going to be. And topic two, 4 years plus, sorry, 4+ years since the release of Cetus and Liberate the Camp remains the most atrocious, I like atrocious,
Good word.
objective in all three open worlds, especially in solo.
Sorry,
Okay, so let's go.
just because this was a random thing on the comments, I'm just gonna say it because
Yeah,
you say you're atrocious. I like that word. Did you notice the word basement contains the word semen?
I do now.
Yeah, I never noticed either.
Have you seen the Skeletor meme that floats around on the internet? It's like you can't spell advertisement without semen between the tits.
What? Anyway,
Yeah.
topic one.
Anyway, right. So I firmly believe the law needs to move backward, sorry, back instead of forward. Right. The basics still need to be explained. I still remember when law was completely an overthought. Oh my God. It pretty much did not exist because the game was still in an experimental stage. However, thankfully, the game has evolved and we now have one of the most interesting laws in any game. Why do we do what we do? Why do I defend a cryopod? Why do I need to do survival to a Tenno operative, which nowadays doesn't make sense since we know Tenno are the operators, get supplies? Why do I need to kill Sagas Ruck? Playing Ghost Recon Wildlands recently, and although the side missions are extremely repetitive, they make sense. I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, which makes the grind far more palatable compared to defend this cryopod because I tell you so. I believe the best way to go about this is through syndicates. Have players align them uh, have players aligned to them and give all missions flair depending on syndicate. This way, you can even personalize each player's basic experience of the game. Example, if you side with arbiters, you can have exterminate missions against Red Veil operatives. Spy missions that you need spy missions that you need to do to discover where a rescue target is. Basically, after you do the star chart, you can only do dailies. You're muted? I can't.
Am I?
Oh, I can hear you. Sorry, I thought
Oh.
you said something. I thought I saw your lips. No, I can't hear you. Oh, you're just moving your mouth. Okay, fine. Confusing me. I've got great picture quality here. I'm on poop internet.
So what do you think?
I So I recognize that they recognize they want more flair in missions. They want more fluff, right? And I appreciate that they know what they're asking for. I don't think this is a necessity. Like, defend the cryo. Okay. I mean, the problem I see with what they're proposing, they want more flair. But that's the one thing that Cephalon Sai has been criticized on for the longest time. It's like, shut up, just open the fucking door. I don't care about your monologue speech.
There's a good balance though, and the balance is just wrong. Especially that his are so long. It would have been fine if he also backed it up with if his poignant terms were quicker. It would actually allow him the time to have the fluff. But he always is really verbose and long-winded in everything he says. Just, literally opening a door is a thing, right? Okay, the door's open. Now, I must let you know that you will be invading the ship. The ship will be full of bad dudes. The bad dudes will want to shoot you. It's down to you, Tenno, to shoot them. We finished blowing everything from the ship. Tenno, you have entered the ship, and the ship is full of other bad dudes. You must find the bad dudes and shoot them. So we're back on the ship. Tenno, you have finished blowing everything up on the ship. With 3 missions ahead now, Sai. Shut up. That's the problem. They just need to just trim him a little bit, but at least he is in that direction. He is staying in context. He is saying things relevant to what's going on.
I feel that it would be better if the gameplay was more dynamic, right? If the mission events were more dynamic, things like you're doing a defense mission against the Grenier, and then partway through the Corpus show up. And then you're defending against the Corpus. No?
You used to have those.
Yeah.
I don't think that makes a big difference. We need more than that these days. But also on a small level as well.
We used to have that, but it's just gone now.
Yeah, that just used to happen just dynamically, and then it just got removed. But one thing, they're making a point about the bit when they say in this top about the cryopod.
Right.
I was thinking about that. What is in those cryopods? The ones we've had since beta?
Mm-hmm.
Or since release of the game? Yeah, people. What are those people? Why are they in a weird cryopod? What is that? Who made that cryopod? Why is it just there? What's going on? Well, I really would just like them to basically... But what I'm saying is, I think they need to go back through the thing, come up with something new for us to defend, and just get rid of those bloody cryopods with people sleeping in them, because they make no sense. And I was actually thinking about it. Gravidius Dilemma now doesn't make sense either.
In what sense?
Well, I pulled the thing up here. Intel shows a growing conflict that will begin on the Gridius in March. Expected to spread. The Grenier are planning an operation against the Corpus led by Sargus Ruck. Alad V of the Corpus has discovered a cache of Tenno in cryosleep. What?
Just go with the Warframes.
Well, it says Tenno.
Yeah, I know. It says, yeah, okay.
It's the official
well, we didn't. Yeah, but
I know, but
it just difference. But
it's just it just feels so wrong. Maybe you could say Warframing cryosleep, but then that's separating the words out, I guess. But what is in those bloody defense pods? Put random. I think they could change it and just put random Warframes in them. That would fix it.
Sure, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, because the whole operative, the guy in the suit as the rescue target most of the time.
To back up on what you're saying with the. I'm pretty sure now. Have you redone the start of War's Prize?
No,
because
no, I've.
They did tie it. So they tied it in. So if you remember the start of War's Prize when we did it in update 14, you are. God, watching you do this K-Drive stuff hurts my soul.
I'm just so bored. I'm just like, oh.
Why are you bored?
I think I had to kill some people with it, and I've done that. So now I'm just going to the exit, I think.
Are you doing night waves?
Oh, do I have to kill people? Yes, I'm just doing random night waves. I think I have to kill people on... Yeah, let's have a look. It should pop up if it is. Yeah, I think it's kill people. I just get fall off the bloody thing all the bloody times.
Anyway.
Okay.
Sorry, I've derailed us.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, what was it?
Look, it's the old Thumpers. They need to get rid of those models, by the way. They look horrific.
With
there's another one. Look.
Start. Yes, I know. With the start of with the start of War's Prize, you in your Warframe wake up in a cryopod and you drop from a high spot, and then you're given.
Oh yeah, you're suspended on the wall
tutorial,
of some weird
right?
temple, and you fall down, and he puts the thing on the back of your leg.
Now the big thing with the new bit is that kind of doesn't. No, doesn't he put the Scarus bolt on later? I
No,
can't remember.
no. He
But
puts it on then because you're just
the
just out of cryo sleep.
but the big thing is it's changed now, and you were a statue. You fossilized with stone, right? Which would indicate that you were there for fucking ever.
Hmm.
That the old war was a very, very long time ago.
Yeah.
And if you choose Excalibur, you have a Mag and a Vault statue next to you. If you chose Mag, you have an Excalibur and a Vault statue next to you. And if you chose Vault, you have an Excalibur and a Mag statue next to you. Right? But the big thing is, when you start the environment, there are no extra statues. It's just you.
Really? So as soon as the cutscene
Yeah.
ends, the other two just disappear?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's ridiculous because the other thing, I was just thinking about that. I was like, hang on a minute. That's actually a cinematic in the new line of cinematic-esque quests indicating the presence of another Tenno. And then as soon as you wake up, they disappear. Oh, even if they just put a pile of rubble, let those two just fall to rubble. Oh, yeah, they're gone. But no, they're just gone.
I haven't played it as soon as it first came out, and I don't remember there being the other two because that would have really caught my attention. But yeah, you're right. At the start of Vor's Prize, Vor is supposed to put an Ascaris bolt on your leg as you're slowly waking up, right? But Vor isn't there anymore, right?
Yeah. How do you
get the first time
you still get the Ascaris bolt in you?
Yeah, you definitely do. I just can't remember when. I can only assume the first time you encounter Vor later on, he puts it on you.
I'll have to play it through. We'll have to go see because I'm sure it's not the way. You can't remember. I've not played it. I really should go do it, but yeah, I should give it.
So, a part of me feels like to me the fluff doesn't add a great deal, right? Oh, defend this cryo. Oh, defend this weapons cache. Oh, defend this mining node. Only because I'm looking at it right now. Oh, go defend this.
Why would you defend a mining
fishing
node?
spot?
Why would you defend a fishing spot?
So what's the fluff adding here, right? Are we just trying to change the dialogue?
No, it's small scale motivations. So this is one thing I really hate about the planes, and this is I think I've not played Ghost Recon Wildlands, but I assume most of them it's some sort of open world thing where you can actually have an impact on the world. I really hate the plains of Eidolon. I remember even saying this to Steve. It's like the Grineer are freaking still just camping out on the plains. What are they doing? They've been there for years now. What are they? I didn't say it like this, obviously. What are they doing? Can we have some sort of permanency? Can we try and push them off the plains or something? Can it be a more dynamic thing? Instead, they're just here. Well, I don't even know. I assume what they're supposed to be digging for is Eidolon bits or something. And this story never went anywhere. What are the Grineer doing on the plains? Or maybe something to do with attacking the Unum, but they don't seem to really care about that, or they never seem to achieve anything. And I don't know how the Unum keeps them at bay. I suppose it's us, but it just what are the Grineer doing on the plains of Eidolon? They don't seem to do anything. It's not that storyline has not progressed anywhere. They're just there. It's just that's why I say they're just camping.
What is the Corpus doing on Orb Valis?
Right, so Orb Valis, they are trying.
Why isn't it just the Solarians?
Yeah, no, but no. You can work that out because the Solarians are in theory working for the Corpus. That's their front, right? And they're wage slaves to the Corpus. And the whole goal is to terraform the planet so it can be used and the resource can be extracted for Corpus means. That's why they're trying to reactivate the old Orokin technology. That's why they're trying to terraform the planet. So that makes sense. I mean, you could say that, oh yeah, well the Grineer just want to mine the plains of Eidolon, but that it's really, why would you try and do that? There's a whole force opposing you, and there's an ancient thing there. It's like this just really isn't sensible. Whereas there's nothing really opposing the Corpus on.
But I don't understand what's the value of having huge, military bases and whatever for the Corpus on Orb Valis when effectively, oh yeah, we're just going to dump these Solarians here. You're going to work for us, or we're going to turn off the lights.
No, you're going to work for us, or we're going to stick you in a box.
What do you mean we're going to stick you in
a box? They get brain box, brain shelved.
There you go. You don't need a gigantic, prisons.
Yeah,
right? Don't have what?
No, they don't. What are you talking about? They don't have they're not in a prison. They're just working there. They're wage slaves. They're the threat alone, and they seem to be able to, even in the Valis, it's really weird. Even in Fortuna, they can come in and kidnap the people and deal with them because that's what happens to
Bursby.
Yeah, he was in Fortuna, yet they came into Fortuna. Obviously, we didn't see it, and we never see this stuff.
Yeah.
But they came into Fortuna, took him out, and put him in a box. So, that's why they need their bases outside. But took his legs, yeah.
Well, no, actually, sorry, no, they took his whole body. That was it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just. Hold on, can you actually see Thursby's head if you go to? I've never actually tried. But yeah, I just like. Why isn't Vox Solaris making any progress in expanding?
Well, that story has been that story. It could be that okay, some of them are just such mountains of debt and things, and that story does at least progress. We do destroy 2 of their things which are holding them back. We destroy 2 of the Orb Mothers. We also investigate one of the other bases that were like Fortuna that got taken over and got destroyed or whatever. I think from the rebellion. I can't remember the story of it.
Oh, Doc 12.
Yeah. So that we do investigate that. We investigate goings on in it, and also they have moved it forward.
Past.
Yeah, but it's still something which is going on, and we give them revenge for it.
My point is, why hasn't...
and then, last point is that terraforming is now moving forward. That's why it's now warmer.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah. I will give you that.
It's these small things, but at least it feels like that story has been progressing. That's why some people are like, oh, I want the snowy one back. It's like, no, it's actually moving forward. Well, tell me about what's happened to planes. Apart from they just shoved some corpses of Eidolons on there.
No, I completely agree with you. But that's the point. My point is that they are as stale as each other.
No, they're not.
You really don't... Why? So the fact that the Vox Solaris still hasn't taken over the research station or the starport, or they've not made a move on any of the points.
No. It works for Vox Solaris because they are a freedom fighter group. They can't take those points permanently because Corpus will just call in a new ship from orbit to come drop pods from people onto them. They're up against unlimited forces. There's only a limited number of people there that are, being way saves. They can't be open. That's why they're still using. They still don't even talk to Neff in their proper names. They have to use their hidden fake Neff face, right? So they can't move forward. They're moving forward at the snail's pace we are. We're continuing the terraformation of the planet. We're investigating other things. We're taking down the Orb Mothers, which is one of the things if we did want to become an open revolt, what do we need to do? Destroy their major power centers. What are some of those? They're the Orb Mothers. They're shock weapons. There's no way we could, unless we take out the Orb Mothers, there's no way they can take the planet. So that story's progressing. What are the Ostrons doing? Just Tenno, scum, go get me lunch. go get me lunch, Suva. Yes, go butcher some Grenier. Go. I can't remember what Konzu calls. Konzu, yeah, what's he call you? Go. Oh, don't worry. New Tenno come along. He bully Grenier. We keep fishing. What's their story has not moved forward. The plains has not moved forward. Nothing has happened on the plains. Whereas Orb Valis, the story has moved forward. It's moving nicely. It's taking years. Things are happening. The plot has moved forward.
Okay, I agree to disagree. Well, I don't think the plot is, but that's
you're just ignoring the things in front of your face at this point. Okay, fine.
Here's another point. What has Tilregor been doing?
That's not anything to do with what I just said, though.
No, I know. Yeah, I know.
Right, okay,
I'm trying to.
No, but they don't. They obviously don't want to use any characters at the time. What's Killer de Thurmby doing apart from Dog Days?
Exactly.
Right.
What has the biggest crime in terms of what the fuck has Vor been doing?
I know, yeah. So that's how I think the law needs to move forward. Is go to these and sorry, that's one of the points. Sorry, when I started this, I was going to take it off you. So this is saying about I believe the law needs to move back instead of forward. That's what I was saying about trying to bring it to the Grenier as well. One of the things I feel is I don't, obviously everyone wants to move on to the sentience, which have been abandoned, right? Everyone now wants to move on to the eternalism and the man in the wall and the void. I still don't feel that the Corpus Grenier infested have been fully fleshed out at all. There's so many stories, like you just pointed out, of characters which are not sitting idle. But the infested as well. What were the infested doing? That they still are they? What's going on with them? Is they are doing they did the Nightwave thing and then that's it. And then they haven't done anything since. Oh, they're on Deimos doing what? It's a different strain. Do strains fight each other? What's going on with that? The Corpus. It's just like there was supposed to be the stuff. I know it was an event, but it was a really cool concept of the proxy rebellion, as if the AIs were becoming conscious. Becoming self-aware and fighting back against, maybe they made their own little mini faction. They just did it as a mini excuse for event to put a quick game mode in where you only fought proxies, but I think that could have been interesting and could have expanded. And it would have been interesting if they linked up with Sentience or did stuff with Sentience. But But no, we got none of that, and it just, oh, we're done with the Corpus, we're done with the Grineer, we're done with the infested plot, man in the wall. I want to go back to those little things, like you're saying, like what's going on for the Grineer, what's going on for the Corpus,
I would love to see. I would love to. No, I'm going to say something that people. It's a joke, right? I'd love to see DE own NFTs of all the voices. Now, I would love to see dialogue lines from the faction leaders, right? One of the nicest things of Gravidius Dilemma was hearing the banter from Alad V and Sargus Rock as you were doing the missions, right? Yeah. We used to have that whenever we selected a specific region of a star chart, but that's pretty much relegated.
No, it was when you reached a new part of the star chart, the boss would taunt you.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure, like back in Star Chart 1.0,
Spiderweb Star Chart,
the bosses would still talk to you when you moved to that planet.
No. Yeah, when you first reached that planet, they taunt you, and I think maybe when you finished a random mission, yeah, it wasn't an ongoing thing. Once you beat them, they wouldn't keep taunting you.
But yeah, I why can't one of the nice things of the Alad V. Oh god, the disruption missions on the Jupiter Sahel set is you have a conversation, you're listening into a conversation with Alad V and someone else. Alad V is issuing, like, that level of fluff is great, but it all expires after a limited amount of time because people, like, I get used to it, I get bored of it, right? Maybe something along the lines of Gravidius Dilemma where the invasions can happen and there's permanency to that. Well, there was. Maybe something that can happen where, the Tel Rogor is now occupying, let's say, Pluto. Yeah? So I was trying to pick a Corpus planet. He's occupying Pluto, and he has new lines that you only hear while he's occupying Pluto.
Yeah, I really wish after Gravidius they went, right, we're on something here. It's really enthused the player base. Right, let's keep this as like an event thing we'll do every 3 months, and every 3 months we'll pick a new pairing of characters and do voice lines for them, and eventually we can repeat them and maybe just chuck in an extra 1 or 2 there when we come back to Alad V versus Sargus Rock again. But it would just be different faction leaders with different voice lines doing different invasions, and the invasions could be different theme ones. Like, let's say Alad V uses more proxies in his army rather than crewmen, whereas Nefanyo has more crewmen and very few proxies. You might not say it's much of a difference, but it's little things like that. They can lead to feelings in gameplay and things. It would make a small difference.
I feel the problem is that there's going to be too much of the player base. I think no matter what, at some point in time, players are going to be like, I don't care about this extra fluff stuff anymore. Like, I mean, there's so many things that Nora Knight says that I'm like, oh, I'm so glad this is a separate slider now.
But that's because Nora Knight just says things weird and out of context with no clear. It's just it's not just fluff. It's just fluff into the ether. It's just aimless.
I think that no matter what, people are going to have a similar reaction to varying different durations. Like, some might react to it negatively quite quickly, and some people might say that, oh no, I can live with this for like 5 years before I get bored of it. I think we also need to see some sort of shaking it up in the actual missions themselves, right? Things like you go to do a spy mission, you've done all 3 vaults, and then all of a sudden, no, they were all fake vaults. You haven't actually got the data. You need to go find this 4th vault that's hidden somewhere. I think, but the problem is that if you've got players that, my previous example was, let's swap the Grineer out for the Corpus during a defense mission. If the players aren't prepared for that change, then they're going to complain. Oh no, I took Grineer only equipment. Like, my equipment does shit to the Corpus. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's going to be pushback, but without that...
I hate that kind of whinging, though. It's like, oh, but I want to be the best prepared. I wanted to know what I was fighting. No, but it's a bloody game supposed to be representing a war. But I didn't know there'd be Grineer. I brought my anti-Corpus guns. This unfair. It's like, stop it.
You know, it's. But I think the problem is the player base has been catered to. You know, they've been fed with a silver spoon to the point of you can't have surprise mechanics.
Coddled, I would almost say.
Yeah, they have been coddled.
Yeah.
You know,
Any complaint? Don't like. Goes back.
like if you could choose any mission type to spice it up, which one would you choose, and how would you spice it up?
Hijack.
Hijack. Okay, how would you spice up hijack?
I'd make it have the possibility of being endless because it would have multiple tracks, multiple paths, and they could be really, really long. And the more you do, the more longer paths open up. I do know for a fact that the way I remember them saying this about you think, oh, level design, how they can do this. I know they can't have loops in the path. They can't do that.
Yeah.
But so the exit is pretty clear. Like the exit can thing, and then it can the game, because the game has to know that, and then it can just build out endless lefts and rights. And so first one is really short, and then it gets longer and longer and longer and longer. And then once you finish, let's say 5, and the fifth one I want to be actually a really long trip. You know, to get that. This is just I'm working off the Grenier one, the exit thing, but it could be whatever you're hijacking. And then go back to the first one, and it becomes harder. So it increases either the difficulty in some way, like it adds more environmental hazards, like the rails become electrified again, or there's more things to turn off, whatever, or you have to do 2 things at once and they have less health, or it just keeps an endless. I would like to see hijack turned into an endless game mode.
To help validate your idea, we've got the defection mission type, the escort the people back to happiness mission type, which is built on what you've proposed. The whole idea is you've got a set end, you've got a start point which is just off the end, and
it does work. Yeah,
you've got a tree. You've got you've got the trunk of your tree, and then it forks out. That's what you want exactly for your hijack.
Yeah.
Right. Like the only difficult part is the interconnecting parts where like the T junctions on the rail track. But as soon as they work that out, well, job's done.
Yeah. I just think it can be interesting, because unlike the people are annoying because they're just the AI on them and the pathing things. This is just on I love the moving the reactor one because it's on that rail above and it's just going to move. In fact, you can control it moving. You can stop it by everyone stepping away from it. It's down to you controlling it. Whereas the NPCs are just annoying bloody NPCs. Nobody loves that game mode because it's just NPCs. Whereas that, you'd actually have some control of them. And so I think that's just top of my head. I mean, I could probably come up with more. Yeah.
I think part of the problem with defection, because it is very similar to defection, I think part of the problem with defection is that you're not keeping one thing alive.
Yeah.
You're keeping multiple groups of 4 alive, and they are wafer thin.
Yeah.
They die with utter ease. So yeah, I'm totally down for your spice to hijack.
So the other thing is, a lot of the issues with the main thing is that defection is that you're basically keeping humanoids from taking damage from other things, whereas in my hijack the issue I'd like to see them bring in more of the as I say, the environmental hazards, doors locking that you have to fix. Like I remember we were saying the other week about how do they why doesn't it teach you about the multiple pressure pads for doors? Perfect game mode for that. Put that in. I think it does on some of them. No, I think it's in the Trial of Retribution they use that thing, but I don't think in the normal hijack they do. But that would have been a perfect thing to be like, oh no, this door shut. It wasn't last time. How do we open it? Oh, we have to stand on pads and things. I would see more environment-based puzzle to solving it. Not that it just throws enemies at you. That's their often solution. Oh well, and then there's enemies thrown at you. It's like, okay, yes, but not always.
And you can add in extra dialogue options for they hack. Hell, I'd love to have it where Tilragor turns around and is like, so heck, how's your Fomorian fleet coming along, right? And then just heck just goes, shut up, you. And look, because do you remember there's the jab from Tilragor saying, if I had the Fomorian fleet, we wouldn't fucking suck at it.
Yeah. I don't know what it takes with voice actors, because I don't know if that's a limitation on paying or getting voice actors to do lines, because it seems to be. I mean, we don't get it. So seeing us talking about voice actors and lines, let's go with
Yeah.
what, just finishing off the, because I do wear the time.
NFT. Sorry.
No, what this person said. So they said, I believe the best way to go about this is through the syndicates. Have players align to them and give all the missions flair depending on the syndicate. Then you can even personalize each player's base experience on the game. Examples: if you side with arbiters, you can have exterminate missions against Red Veil operatives. Spy missions, you need to discover what a rescue target is. Basically, after you just yeah. So, what do you feel about that?
I'm interested in this. I think so. There's two perspectives of this. So it's doing more than just go pick up some medals off the floor.
Yeah.
Which I'm 100% down for. But there's also having the dialogue lines. And I think that, how do you get the dialogue? Like, I think you need to have voice.
Not the dialogue lines point of view. I think that they could do that. It's just money and for whatever it is. But I mean, from a gameplay point of view, you'd be bringing the syndicates off the bench. It's really weird that the syndicates hate each other so much, absolutely hate each other, but they won't actually directly attack each other as factions or anything. And then they'll hire people to do their work, and then instead they'll attack each other's people doing each other's work.
I think you missed the point here.
Yeah.
They hate each other so much, yet they're all sat on the same space.
Oh, yeah. Well, they get different rooms.
They're next door to each other.
Yeah, they get different rooms.
Yeah, but bloody Steel, Steel Meridian and Suda hate each other, and they're literally next door to each other.
Yeah, but they hate each other according to the thing, but they clearly don't, because they literally sit right next to each other. But they hate each other so much that they'll go, oh, that person's working for these other people, I'm gonna kill them. They literally send death squads after you, but they won't attack the person in the next room. So I think I would like to see this move. They did say they were going to do more for syndicates in the future years ago, and they never have.
I think what would be really nice in terms of syndicates is that you have no named operatives that are dealing out the quests, right? DE hire rookie voice actors, right? You don't have to give the character a name. You don't have to reuse them, the voice actor.
Right.
You get the lines from them, and then if they're good enough and they're cheap enough to hire again, hire them again. Or just hire a second Red Veil person or a third Red Veil person.
And do what with it? What does that do?
No, the flare, the audio lines.
Right, okay, yeah. So you
transmissions.
I think you're focused on audio lines. That is part of it, yes, and that would be good. But this person's saying there needs to be more going forward. So why not have things like, why can't we defend Iron Wake from the Suda? And so Suda units attack Iron Wake, and we have to defend Iron Wake.
I think I'm down for that, but I feel you need to properly expand the faction, because they're just one character model with they're just the Tenno operative, black and purple, with the cyanoid gamma core. That's all they are. They need more substance to them. They need a lot more work than that.
I would like to see them. Yeah, I mean, it actually also makes sense with the fact that the Grineeran corpus should be weaker now because they had some of their forces stolen by Nama. I assume they lost forces in the war as well. So the syndicates gaining troops and moving and trying to be bigger factions would be an interesting development, I think, in the solar system.
If that's the case, I'm for that, but they need to get all the syndicate factions off the damn relays. Having the syndicates actively attack each other, right?
How about,
which is cool.
They could still be on the relays, but you would see more of the neutral people being guards at all the doors and the hallways.
Do you better? Do you one better rather? Father deploys necromechs there.
Yeah, no, I would take that. I thought you were going to say NPC Warframes, but yeah, NPC necromechs as well, patrolling the hallways. Yeah. So it would be like that is another faction that is decidedly neutral, that's operating the relays and says we're keeping these neutral for the sake of all good people. But you would actually see them in the corridors and things with guns. So it's like, no, that's why the Steel Meridian, who shouldn't have any guns in their room, And then, okay, the Red Veil can have a knife, but everyone has guns so that they can't actively fight the person in the next room.
Yeah.
They're like Babylon 5s.
I was actually thinking Deep Space Nine, but yeah.
Deep Space Nine doesn't have a... like Babylon 5 has, like, meetings of different aligned, like, a Senate of people, that sometimes do fight each other. Oh man, I watch Babylon 5 now. Moving on. Yeah. So I think so. What do we think about expanding the syndicates? And as you say, I liked your thread about the voice lines and as you say, I think it's very sensible. Don't have to hire big name voice actors. Just hire people to get some lines in. And it doesn't have to be your staff.
Throw away. I mean, I think it's gonna be difficult because of the whole working remote thing. But I'm 100%. I'm down for that. I'm 100% down for that.
Yeah, more voice lines is always a good thing.
More voice lines.
And with the
more
internet, you can always hire
types.
people to. I'm sure. I don't know if maybe it's a contract issue or something, but I'm sure they can make ironclad contracts to. This is what we're going to use your voice lines for. This is what we pay you for. Done.
Well, I remember the Game Grumps were in. Oh God, what was that stupid game? How's it going, dude? Sorry, how's it going? Yeah, shit. What's the name of that game? Night Party, something part. I can't remember.
Oh,
you know the one I mean.
Do you mean the Sega CD one?
No. It's a relatively recent adult entertainment video game.
Oh yeah.
You remember when we went to go see Game Grumps at
Birmingham.
Yeah, and they were like, "How's it going, dude?" They were taking the piss out of that game. I'm trying to fucking remember.
Okay, right. But anyway, yes, there was a game.
The whole point is someone won the experience to be in said game. They were going to have a character in there. They gave it to the Game Grumps, right? So Danny and Aaron were in there. They had to record their voice lines, but the voice lines were all out of order, and no context was given at any point in time. Right? So they had no idea what the lines were for. You could do something very similar. Just keep it, not vague, but cryptic enough that you can't work out what's happening as the voice actor.
But even so, we just want generic lines for missions that are just very generic anyway. So it's not really hiding anything or needing to be secret. It's just like, Tenno, there's enemies up ahead. That's what you need, I
think it was called House Party. Shit, what was the name of that stupid game? Yes, House Party. There you go.
Anyway, should we move on to the replies?
How's it going, dude? Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised that Warframe gets praised for its lore because from a new player's perspective, it's a schizophrenic mess. If I had a credit for every time someone asked, what's in the Warframe cryopod? Or doesn't Deimos existing directly contradict Once Awake?
No.
No, because they're trapped there. They can't get... They're not spacefaring.
Not only that, but Deimos wasn't in the Origin system. Like, it was separated. Like, they took it out of orbit and then they put it back.
Did they?
Yeah. Did
they put it in the void?
No, I think Grandmother just shunted it out, and so it's in the Origin system. I mean, it's a good thing that the Infested didn't work, that she could do that and didn't just drive it into a planet and just go, oh, well, shit, we got,
Yeah, but then it doesn't contradict Once Awake because they are not spacefaring. They were locked up in places like the Derelicts, which were broken ships which don't work, and Deimos. Deimos, they can't get off of Deimos without, they're not spacefaring unless they infect space. Unless they do infect things which can spacefare, like what's it called? Big floaty thing, only Arcwing boss.
The Raptor?
Jordis.
No, sorry.
Jordis. Yeah. That's the only thing, that can float in space. But then it's whatever. So I think that's actually got infected later, isn't it? Because it's part Corpus ships, isn't it? So that's a recent thing. Yeah. So that's why. So the Once Awake is when the Grineer were experimenting on some locked away infested they found, and they then released them, and then they got on their ships, and then they spread around the solar system that way.
Yeah. Oh, there's actually another part of this you didn't read.
Ooh.
Players also need a
formal introduction to Tesh. No, they don't.
Who?
I don't know. It's rather weird. I think it's a beta character that was concept arted and then removed from the game. Yeah, because unless you're one of two people who play Conclave, he's just a random guy who shows up during the Hunhow and the War Within. Oh, they're talking about the
Oh, you
Conclave
mean
vendor.
Ghost Be Wistman?
Conclave vendor.
Yeah.
Conclave vendor. Conclave
He
NPC.
went away though.
Yeah,
I think he went on holiday.
as I say, they couldn't finish the concept art, so they just removed it and replaced it with the red thing. It's just it's like a cephalon or something.
It's now black and white.
Is it?
Yeah.
You know, people having like red rave dance parties and things next to him.
What? No.
Anyway, what I'm worried about is that DE is going to back themselves into a corner, and the lore is going to overlap in bad ways.
They already have.
It already has, massive.
Like, have you? Also,
I
kind of want to highlight the difference between lore and plot. Right. Well, lore is something that's happened in the past. It's the history before you start playing. Plot is now, right? Plot is what you go through. Yeah. But like, lore is just so interchangeable with plot. It's just. Ugh.
Let's have a quick look here.
Are you Googling it?
God, yes. Law, Old English learning, what is taught, knowledge, science, doctrine, active art of teaching. From yeah, so it's like it's things you can learn, not things you experience.
Yeah.
The plot is where is we going, whereas the lore is things we can discover that have happened.
Yeah.
Yep. Next one. Time limit event in the past that contains story should be replayable. Lots of players didn't know the story of those events until they look up on wiki.
You know what? I'm gonna double down on this. I'm gonna say no. They should not be replayable anymore. Like, fuck it. The whole reason why we're not getting events anymore and not replayable, right? Fuck it. No. I just give us something that's a throwaway event. If it's something that you have to read from a history book, I mean, that's like saying, "Oh no, I want to the Battle of Hastings needs to be replayable. I want to experience. I don't want to read about the Battle of Hastings. I just want to live the Battle of Hastings."
Yeah, I did always. I liked your idea, and in fact, that what they should do is make, what are they called? Not Vitruvians. What's the law museum called?
Oh God, Lavarian.
Lavarian. They should have an ever-expanding Lavarian, or just separate Lavarians for the events, and so that's how you experience it. And so it becomes a bit, because they said when they did the dark sectors, when it was that you could capture them, that one of the things I remember saying is they wanted to be a bit like Eve, where you could take control of areas. So, but the thing about Eve is things happen in the past. I remember years ago I was playing Eve with a friend, and I got access to was it one of the biggest corporations, Goon Squad, and they had a wiki where they recorded their history. It was pages long, and this was years ago. It explained every encounter, all the memes that happened, all these things, these stories. It was amazing. It was kept by them on their wiki. It was such a beautiful resource, their wiki, and it was so good. The thing, but I couldn't relive those events. There's no way to, because they happened in the moment. And that's the same thing that Warframe should do. It's like, you weren't there for this, but just letting you know this happened, and you can read about what happened, and maybe even make it that players have impact on what it says. Like for the PC, it would say that I think we backed Alad V in TubeMen, didn't we?
No, we backed Sagas Rock.
Yeah. So no TubeMen.
Oh. No, we back Nathaniel because
we back Nath,
fuck out of the
right. So, but the Vitruvian would. Oh, I keep saying Vitruvian.
Wait, you're talking about us personally?
No, this PC.
Oh God, no, I think you were
because I know on the consoles did different on that event.
I think I think it was PC backed Alad V.
Okay, and then on the I forgot the name of them already. I want to keep calling them Vitruvians, but they're not. What are they called?
I think it's Lavarian.
Lavarian. Our Lavarian would state that, the Tenno backed, and then move forward. Yeah, I'm with you as well. I loved Warframe, but one of the things that really got me into Warframe was the feeling originally that it was almost like every other-ish weekend, something new would come along, and it would feel like it was alive. It would be limited. It would be, we've got to do this event, we do this event. And I knew that they were still, it's just a video game event, and it was still just quite limited at the time, but it felt, it gave the illusion, the immersion that you were part of this evolving. Huh?
I also want more statues.
Yes, you want more statues. It gave you this immersion that you were part of this solar system where things were happening, and that's how they were going to tell their story. Instead, they're like, oh, but people can't replay it. And yeah, I'm with you on it. Yeah. But yeah, like I say, back to your idea years ago, was make a video about it, in-game video, and you could put them in the goddamn Lavarian. You could put these little video players in the Lavarian, and then it could just be summarized in a video.
Or if it's just audio.
Yeah.
Just audio, and here's some models.
Yeah. I'm surprised that maybe we need somebody to make a YouTube channel that is literally just recapping the old events, and that'll be it. That be like, there you go, and make more. Anyway, moving on.
Maybe I should do that.
Maybe you should. As far as someone hasn't. Moving on. I don't think anything in Warframe makes sense. About 2 years ago, I played through all the story quests back to back. I still have no idea what's going on, which made it really hard to try and get into this new war stuff. Lol.
Okay.
I think that's a bit too far to say that. The thing is, I'm critical, but then it's like, oh, I have no idea what's going on. That's a bit too far. You can say some things. Yeah, there's contradictions, but you can at least say, well, these are the Grineer, they're doing this. This is the Lotus, she's doing this. Maybe this, I don't quite know. This is Ballas, his plan is 17 different things. Here's Error, he is a NPC that was supposed to be attached to a wall, and for some reason has been given a name and is walking around being with a consciousness when he was supposed to be a trash mob. Sorry, I'm whinging about that. I'm sorry. Is that I rewatched the art panel and I found that section again, and he was supposed to be like these gargoyles on the wall, and so you wouldn't. So what, the old trope where you don't know which ones are the real ones and which ones are just statues. That was that, and that became the leader for the sentience. It's like he was supposed to be a wall ornament.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Oh, sorry, I've missed one. Oh no, I think I've read that one. No, I have read that one. It's about time-lapse events. Yeah, right. But that's it for that topic. So let's
right, move on.
I think we've got over many things. Yeah. So I don't like the title, by the way. I think the lore needs to. I think this is what confused you at the start before we finish up. You saying I think I firmly believe the lore needs to move back instead of forward. I think that what he actually means to say is
the lore needs expanding.
I think they need to expand on the base lore before moving the plot forward.
Yeah,
is what it should have said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. Well, we've even fixed the title while we were trying to fix how it is. That's what we do here. Right. Topic 2.
Okay. Next topic. Yeah. So 4+ years since the release of Cetus, and liberate the camp remains the most atrocious objective in all 3 open worlds, especially in solo. Apparently, they have their eyes closed during anything in Deimos. The area you have to control is massive. They actually say massive, but I'm adding some flair to it. So some, was it? I can't remember. Too large to reliably control. The place they spawn on the edge of the control area makes this even worse due to the timer and rate of control loss for solo players. At least enemies don't seem to spawn in caves anymore, although they could be just me being... although that could be just me... That could be just me being lucky. Sorry, that sentence is hard. Its equivalent in Deimos is far, far more sensible and fun to do. Smaller area, proper spawns, reasonable time. I can shoot this right in the butt. I can destroy this with a simple flick of a wrist. Actually, I was trying to think of the name of the Grineer thing on Deimos, which is
the Sniper Grineer.
Yeah, Sniper Grineer with flamethrowers.
Sniper Grineer, freaking stupid. I hate them. I absolutely hate them. That's the most atrocious one objective. I struggle at that solo if I'm not bringing either my Necromech with a Fluctus so I can shoot through walls and just push the ultimate and just explode the whole room.
With a group of people.
Yeah, with a group of people can sometimes struggle, yeah. Yeah, I literally, if I'm getting that one, I save my Necromech's ultimate ability and then just sit in turret mode and spin around and shoot as quick as I can to try and hit things before they can just snipe them. It's lucky they're trapped on Deimos because those Grineer would destroy the solar system.
I mean, we were doing, it was a couple of weeks ago, we did a Nama event of the liberate the camp, and there's no problems with it whatsoever. And yes, I know it's not solo, but I gotta be honest, the most powerful tool in your arsenal to deal with liberate the camp is your fucking Archwing.
Yeah.
You know, like I personally use the Itzel. I go invisible and I shoot shit as it's coming through. Oh look, there's another dropship. Oh well, I'll just shoot a tonk or a grenade at it, and then everything on the dropship has died before the dropship has even
So
parked.
before I forget, when we get to, you're gonna have to. I'm just gonna keep an eye out now. See this mission I'm doing now, where I'm fighting this Grenier exterminate. I just want to point
That's
this
what
out.
you've been doing for a while.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while. You wait till I get to the end, and I'm just like, what the hell's happening? You wait. I'll point to that shot. I'll tell you when it starts. I was like, but anyway,
How long before you get there?
I
Just
think
out of
I'm over
interest.
halfway. I don't think there's that much more to it. I just don't get what
Okay.
happened to the mobs. The spawning just seems to mess up massively. I'll show you. It's not far
Okay.
away. But anyway, so you're saying that it's all, but would you also? I would also say enemy radar is another brilliant tool for this.
Mm,
I mean, if you got your Itzel, you got your if you're having problems, because I assume that's what they're saying is that they're having mobs at the edge of the area that it says to defend, and they can't find them. So if you've got your Archwing, you've got enemy radar, you can easily just whiz around the
well,
area 2 seconds.
I think the problem here is that they're trying to do it and maintain the bonus, right? But because you can't fail it. Well, you can, but it's a lot harder to fail. Whereas the fucking see who can kill the most Grenier. I'm sorry, the most infested. I'm Super Grenier, Sniper, Flamethrower, Commando. I mean, it's a good thing you don't fight me when you're fighting the Grenier ever. I feel that one's the most egregious bloody stage of any bounty.
Which one?
The Grenier kill infested one.
Near kill infested one. Oh, on
You
Deimos.
are
Sorry, on
competing.
Deimos. On Deimos. Yeah. Oh,
Yes,
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I agree with you completely on that. Yeah, absolutely. It's impossible. They're just ridiculous. It's like there's no tool that can do it, and it's just like they spawn, they get sniped, and at most times they just die instantly. You're like, what do you want me to do, game? I do not understand. If I just try and do that with a normal, even my Opticore or my normally I use my Axdato Prime, which I have. I'm like, okay, I'll try and shoot the enemies before they do. And, I'm still losing. And maybe I eke a min of victory because I think the other thing is to win that event, just not even. I can't actually remember. I think you have to double their kills to win. It's not just beat them; it's double it to win, and then
Yeah.
even more to get the bonus reward on the mission.
Oh no! It's just double it to get the bonus award.
Is it double to get the bonus reward?
It's the first to get to a number,
Yeah.
and then I think it's like double it to get to get the bonus reward.
Okay, maybe
But like
I'm
I've
misremembering that,
I've never known anyone to do it. You probably have to have niche setup specific. And the thing is, you don't know what stage you're getting. We were talking earlier about players complaining about not being able to be prepared if you swap out what their objective is. If you don't know that you've got that sodding Grenier stage, I wouldn't be surprised if people kick off about swapping out the enemies and things like that. You know. So that was a little bit rambling. Okay. This has come back again and again and again.
Here we are. Look,
recently.
watch this.
Are they all just running out?
Where they
Hell?
go? Where they go? Okay, I can scan this dude, and then more go. Hang on, it's like right. And I was like, wait, there's more. There's still more. They just all start running together. I assume it's exterminate, and they for some reason get confused and all start just running to the end.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I have never seen that before.
They're like, this Tenno's no, gotta get this Tenno from getting out of here. I'm like, okay, I'll just keep scanning. I was trying to fast some virus.
And then they're leaving.
Yeah, they just start aimlessly patrolling.
Wow, random.
Yeah.
Never seen that before. Anyway, so what were we talking about? So this has come up time and time again. about the state of affairs of bounties on the plains of Eidolon. And we are of differing opinions. I say no, just leave it, just move on to the next thing.
I would like to see the whole plains bounties redone or add more in and have a bit of an overhaul. Maybe tighten up. But this one, for instance, just tighten up the area on this. Do you have to really define such a big area? Let's just shrink it a bit. I mean, job done. I would like to see them overhauled and more added is what I want to see for the planes. I don't think the planes gets enough love. I think it's a problem that we've had 2 new open worlds which have had more additions and things than the planes has had. The planes doesn't get a look in really, even though it's the one with the good repeating event. It never gets story improvements. It's been featured in a quest pointlessly. The only improvement it got is they chucked a dead corpse on top of it.
They've all been featured in the quest pointlessly. Sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted.
No. The Valis
Part of Deimos is what? No, I'll let you finish your point.
No. Okay, no. That's the quest being pointless. What I mean is that it's featuring a quest. You don't have, like, for instance, in the new war, it doesn't go like, oh, we have to go to Deimos. Why? No, sorry. So we have to play a necromech that's defending against infested, and then it just dies, and then that's it as part of the new war. I don't know. That's just useless. The only pit on Cetus, I suppose we had the, oh, look, we get to walk around Cetus a bit, and then, oh, look, we're in the Unum finally, and like, yeah, it just annoys me. I would love to see more stuff on the planes. I'd love to see them expand the planes, to be honest, make it bigger. Seeing as they do that for a Valis, maybe that would help. Give an excuse to redo the planes bounties, expand it.
Okay. I want us. I'm joining you, right? Joining the dark side.
Dark side.
With the open worlds, I would like us to say this is how I would expand X system, right? And I'd like us to really knuckle down and say this is what I would change for, instead of just saying, oh, they need to improve the quest, the bounties. Let's doubling down a lot today. Let's properly do the groundwork. Let's say how we would do it. For example, right, I would overhaul the infested vaults for Deimos. I would add in whole new tiles, right? I would use the old tile set system where it there's smaller tiles in nature and there's just a fuck ton of them. If they can do it for the Corpus Capital ships, right, where I can't tell the difference of an internal of a Corpus Capital ship compared to regular Corpus mission, yeah, surely they can do it for the interior of the infested vaults. I think the reason why that is so sparse is because they effectively ran out of time to create more tiles. Create fuck ton more tiles. Because
diversity is the spice of life, and variety makes things feel fresh every time you do it.
Yep. So that is how I would improve the infested vaults. So I keep on struggling to remember what they're bloody called. Anyway, so let's talk about how would we improve, or the plains of Eidolon, and we'll also do the Deimos again, because I've already said that one before with Deimos. So how would we improve?
Okay, right.
Plains of Eidolon.
I would love to see it expanded in size. I don't know if they'd ever be able to do that because I assume it would break 1 billion triggers and they'd have to redo it. But let's assume they could. Let's say we're actually going to make this a big project, right? First thing I would do is something that people from the Firefall community always want another game to do, and it's something which really annoys me that the Plains doesn't have. So it's a bigger size, let's say Orb Valor size. You then, so instead of mining, you can just go around with your little miser drill, but there's another thing you can do. You can call down a drill anywhere. So there's a whole new mini game of scanning the map looking for nodes. It would
Okay.
shift slowly over time. It would shift like just a very. I know it doesn't make sense, but like here's an iron node, here's a thingy node, whatever. It would move over that, and the map would be bigger as well. And you can call down an extractor wherever you want. And you can call down the size of the extractor as well. So you can call down a bigger one, and you get more mineral nodes or whatever, and you of course use stuff. But the bigger the node you bring down, the bigger the enemy waves that will come attack you to try and blow it up. Because it's a bigger target. So that way you've got something to do anywhere on the map. You could also use this for like digging up sentient bits for some reason, or whatever secrets are down there. You can make it that there's special ones which you have to either work towards, or that you only get a limited number of a week that you have to do that move towards a little mini quest where you're digging up. You can only do like 3 of these special. I'm going to call them thumpers, but extractors. You know, 3 of these special extractors a week, and they move towards a little bit of a plot element. I know they suck at doing this as well. That would evolve a story over time that you have to progress towards. You have to do so many of these things, and you get bits. There's that, right? So then you want to say about the basic bounties. Okay, well, one, if ignoring that whole thing, which I thought would be cool, the I think it's only in the ghoul bounties they even have the extractor. Why are there not more extractors in the normal bounties? So we can move that element in there for one, because why are we? I think that's why the Grineer are there. Let's dig up stuff on the plains. At least it'd be more variety. I would also love to see there's those Grineer bases. I'd love to be able to go into them more, even if they're just small. I mean, just something, because one of the great things I think about the Valis is the actual, they don't use them properly, is the size of the bases. So I'd like to see Grineer bases as well, and then also use, I think they do now a bit, but not really well, the underground cave network.
Yeah, rarely.
Right. The other thing with the underground cave network is I'd make it all interconnected, so that I can, so they have multiple exits and entrance. So it's almost like a 2-level system. So you've got the overworld and the tunnel network. Gets the Grineer dig out and connect all their tunnels and bases, so that it makes it more seamless to go up and down. And it makes it easier, and you don't have to go up into one cave, down, up. And so it's a whole cave network underneath as well.
Okay.
Right. And then, because I swear this is something good. I think Sheldon talked about it. It's like, can we have underground Eidolon? Big cave underneath. They open up a big cave.
Oh, it was underwater.
It was underwater. He wanted, wasn't it? It was going to be an underwater one with cover. Yeah, when you fight it on ground, it would go underwater. You'd fight. Yeah. Why don't we at least have an underground one that or maybe it's a digging one. So you fight it on ground, it digs down, then you have to go find it in the cave network, and so that there's that as well. There we go.
I would be 100% behind that, but I would want it so that the cave network was procedurally generated. That would be a huge undertaking for DE. Because like the biggest problem I have with the open worlds is the fact that you see one orb Valis, you see them all, right?
How about they connect all the tunnels underneath Orvalis, underneath the plains, right? And I literally mean mad super spider web. But every time you load in, it randomly closes off a lot of the connections, so that the pathways you choose to connect them are going to be different every time.
I'd be down for that.
Because then it only needs to, it loads the whole map, and then it loads blockages. So that's all it has to load. It doesn't have to attach what they're called tiles. It doesn't have to do a tile generating thing. It has the same map every time of this mad spider tile network. But then it goes, oh, but there were rockfalls here, and here recently.
But that door's locked.
Yeah, and then that door's locked. Yeah, well, I wanted more like tunnel collapsing, because it's just so manic down there.
It's comparison to what it is now.
So that you might be like, oh, I need to get to the northeast. Oh, I'll just take this tunnel. Oh, it's blocked off. Oh, about here. Oh, I'm gonna have to go all the way around this time. So it's harder to find your way around. I know people would hate it though, because people can't. They just hate having to not be able to stare at the map and then just shoot things. That's all people want to do.
I would also like, in addition, you have a fog of war on your mini map.
Oh yeah, how's it?
So the whole premise of the fog of war is you cannot see the tunnel layout until you go and explore it.
Yeah.
As soon as you've explored it, then it's on your mini map. You got no issue with that, so you know which lanes are blocked, and you can share the mini map with your allies.
Yeah, so you can say it. Yeah. If one person finds out, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you could even make that one of the one of the bounties would be that it's time based. So it's like the bounty is, okay, Tenno, we need to smuggle stuff across the plains, but due to blockages by the Grenier and cave-ins, we need to find a new route. If you can find the route within this time period, you get the bonus reward. If you take longer, then you've only got that time to do it. There we go. They've just made a new bounty. That'd be interesting, and it's just based on running and trying to get your way through a maze almost. Wow, that'd be really cool, actually. That'd be fun. I want to play that.
With your
Damn it.
With
coming to the game in 6 years.
With your excavation, I am down for it, but I feel it needs proper testing to make sure that the enemy can get to those areas.
Yeah, I mean, it worked better. Well, yeah, you make your point, but remember that they can deploy troops from ships, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue.
My thought is that there might be areas on the plains that the enemy AI doesn't know how to traverse.
Right.
And it just takes one player to find that location, put their thumper there. The enemy AI doesn't know where the thumper is because, interconnectedness, right? The AI web is just like, I don't know what that is. Where is it? And they just aimlessly want it. What I would like is if the AI can't, you could say mesh.
Sorry, so right? you roboed there.
Oh, effectively, you can use the same AI mesh for traversing the terrain. If the thumper cannot attach to the mesh, if it doesn't land on the mesh, it can't go there.
Yeah, I give you that. Also, the way it would work, because I said you'd have to scan to find things, right? After you finish one thumper, it would shift again. So that location would probably not viable. So more than often than not, it's going to try and push you towards locations which are... But the goal is, and the reason why I'd love this on the Valis as well, I hate on the Valis that the bloody bounties push you into the same, 12 locations? There's a whole... I want to fight on this mountainside. I want to fight up there. I want to fight just outside the orbit. I want to fight south of the starport. I want to fight in this corner of this snowfield. No, there is nothing there. Nothing to do there. Whereas having an option
of... the Valis.
That's the Valis. That's what I mean for the Valis. No, I was talking about the Valis there. That's what I mean. The Valis does it as well. I know the bounties does the same, but the Valis is what really drives me for this. Because it just drives you into the same locations. How many times do I need to sit on the same points of road, capturing the same bloody omni-wheel ships? Ugh. Ugh. It always goes back to those safe points. I'd love a sort of special bounty that you could do anywhere. Like, there's a few where you actually do the defending the extractors on like a hillside, and it feels different because you're like, oh, the enemies they on this side they come up, they land, and they come up literally really close to me. But on this side, I can see down the hill and I can see them. So it gives variety. And instead, it's like no, better fight on the same strip of road. Like, oh. So that's why that's why I want the cooldown extractor anywhere defend thing.
I would be interested to understand the logic behind why the Orb Valis bounties don't push you out to different parts of the map. Is it a case of they were doing it, they found that they were spending too much time traveling between the points? Or was it simply a case of we ran out of time to, put them in other places?
I think it's more that, because it normally is, we always say... I don't think they're always aiming for the minimum viable product, but in general, that's the way it does. And once it's shipped, it doesn't get a look in, because it...
Think of the players that don't have Arcwing, that don't have Cage. Because remember, you can access this thing second planet. It's right there. You don't need a Railjack. You don't need a Necromech. You don't need Arcwing. You don't need a K-Drive. Think of all the players that have to hoof it on foot, right? So I'm wondering if that's part of the reason for when we haven't pushed the bounties as far as they could go.
Because I think also, was obviously during the testing, because I think they must have changed it during... When did they remove the Arcwing deployer things? Was that before?
No, that was Plains of Eidolon.
Was it before? So it was before Valis?
Yeah, it was really early on. Yes, yeah, definitely. Because people were getting frustrated of how to deploy it. People were taking them because anyone could grab someone else's.
Yeah.
Right. So they made it personal and non-consumable. That was the other side of it as well. So it was in Plains of Eidolon. It was
So I'm
really,
just
really
trying to
good.
remember that one time we went there and we saw the Valis on. We were the first people to. It literally been finished that morning or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we? I swear we had to give ourselves launchers, didn't we?
Yeah, we had to give ourselves everything because there were no NPCs on the environment
We couldn't.
things.
So we had to give ourselves. Yeah, maybe that's why I'm remembering is that then we had to give ourselves Arcwing launchers to use because I remember
Yeah.
that there's a dev tool for moving around. You're like, nah, no, you
No,
don't.
no.
Blink.
Oh God, yeah, because like it was effectively it was the oh God Captura tile for it.
Yes, it
We
just
had
been ready that
infinite
morning.
energy.
Yeah.
We had infinite energy, and I was just like, now I'm on the Itzel, blink, 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 blink. I just shot all the way across
Yeah. I know
the
they were like,
environment.
here's the dev code for like going faster or something. You're like, don't need it.
No, it was how to detach your camera from the player model and to go
To go
faster.
faster. And you turn
Yeah.
around and say, I don't
Uh,
need it. Loads in it still. Just blinks across the thing and saying
And yeah,
Yeah.
Dean just looked at us. It was just like, oh my God, I never knew you could do that. I was like, yep,
No, I didn't realize how broken that was. Yeah.
yep.
But yeah, so okay. Well, either way, the what we talking about the launchers for? I was talking about. Oh, you were saying yeah. Well, maybe they could put. There's ways around that though. They could put if you don't own a K drive, there is when you step out onto the
Rent a K drive.
yeah,
Rent a
yeah, exactly.
Arcwing.
No.
Yeah.
There's a either put the old launcher in. It gives you a broken Arcwing, which can only be.
Unmodded. There you go. Unmodded. The end.
I was also saying it would like only last so long enough to fly around a little bit, and then you'd land, and then you could get out. Or there'd be these rent a K drive points, which would be like time limited. Or so. I want to make them weak. I want to make it so that when you get the real one, it's better.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel the
Just
difference?
unmodded, right? There's no
I
Hyperion
guess, yeah.
thrusters, right? There's no like, and the thing is, as soon as you leave Orb Valis, you lose it, right? You could make it where it's like a gear item that is like, I've got a solution for this. I'm not gonna go through the door of Orb Valis. And then you end up with a broken K drive. It's like, oh yeah, you took it through the security checkpoint. It's off. We've just self-destructed it. So now you just got this dead gear item in your. I mean, they would no way on earth ever do this, but you can just imagine that. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
why have I got this dead thing? Well, you try to steal it. Don't steal it. We're providing you these free Arcways just to play with on the Valis. Don't steal the fucking Arcway.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, that was a silly
But
joke.
there's ways of doing it, like giving. I see what you mean though. Yeah, when you first get to these, Orb Valis is massive, and if you have no way to maneuver around, you are just
Yeah.
bullet jumping endlessly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why. But to define the entire gameplay experience and quest loop around that
Well,
is
a lot of
so short sighted. If that was the case, I can't believe that's true.
No. The problem is right. It's they're handicapping themselves. I want to. So I was talking to Lars about this last night. The game is too heavily front loaded. I described it in a not particularly nice, favorable light, which is you've got a bog, you've got a quagmire, right? Everything is shin deep, right? And it's all at the start, and you just don't know where to go, right? If Orb Valis was inaccessible until you had Arcwing, until you'd finished this, you've got the sense of progression, then you've got this content island you can go to after you've got that. Same with like K drives, but the problem is that they have to make sure that it's traversable by. Look at how many people weren't bothering with Arcwing at the start of Orb Valis. Nope, Plains of Eidolon, and they were just using their operator to dash to the objective faster than an Arcwing could get there, right? Because the Arcwings had this consumable launcher, instantly undermined, right? The problem is that they've put so much effort into making sure you can do everything from the start that as a result you're shin deep in this confusion and you don't know where to go, right? Do I stick with the star chart or do I go to Plains of Eidolon? Do I go to Venus and spend some time doing the Fortuna stuff? Do I rush my way to Mercury to get to Mars and then to Deimos to do what's it called? Cambion Drift, right? Sorry, I was trying to think of the open world part. All this stuff is at the front.
Yeah.
You know that you're going to be able to access theory from the void instantly because they're going to tie it to the the Phobos line. Because you know there's 4 points to.
Yeah. Well, they have to make it. You have to finish New War to do Deviri. They have to.
I don't think they will. I really don't think they will.
So I was thinking of an analogy for you. What you're saying, right? So in most games, it's like a swimming pool, right? You've got a shallow end which you can stand up in, and then it goes along and it slowly gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then that's the end, because that's the deepest it gets. Warframe is like being in the middle. You're standing in the middle of a giant circular swimming pool, and in all directions there's giant amounts of shallow. And then if you go in any one direction for a long time, it suddenly goes deep at the edge of the swimming pool. But it's a giant circular swimming pool, and you're standing right in the middle. So if you go that way, well, it's still shallow for about 10 meters that way, and 10 meters. It's just, I'm stuck in massive amounts of shallow, and you can aimlessly walk around the shallow as much as you want.
I remember when I was. Yeah, I remember when I was.
Direction.
Huh?
You don't have to, like in an swim pool, you have direction. You go towards the deeper end, where it's just like, where I go?
I remember when I was a kid, right? Little side story. There were 2 swimming pools, right? At the leisure centre. There was one for kids, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking like wee tiny, 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids.
Whippersnappers.
Right? Whippersnappers. That was literally shin deep for a parent or something. Yeah. But, it went up to their waist on a baby, right? And there was the proper swimming pool. So we've got, the one that actually goes really deep. So we've got the proper swimming pool. You got your World of Warcraft, weird shit show that is right now. And then you've got the kiddie paddling pool, which same size in length and width as the regular swimming pool, just shin deep. That's your Warframe.
No, but just to correct it, there'd be one corner where, if it was Warframe, there'd be one corner where there would be like a very deep hole. Just in one corner. One tiny corner is very deep. Like there's
just a chasm.
Yeah, there's just a chasm in the corner. So you're like, what's that?
Yeah.
Right. That's where they figure out how mods work.
Okay, so I think our solution realistically to Orb Valis is make it so that there's an easy transportation system. As soon as you step out onto Orb Valis, there you go, rent an Arcwing, right? Yeah, put some credits on it, super cheap, and pick that up, and then put more bounties around the rest of the map.
Yeah,
I think that's the solution. Right? Okay, Cambion Drift. What would you change about Deimos?
Well, I would like my extractor thing so that you can fight in any location. That way you're not always fighting the same thing. I think that would just be brilliant for one. Work well on Deimos. I think Deimos needs more air stuff because I don't think they're going to make it any bigger. So, Arcwing content?
I think that would be cool. I think it'd be nicer if there were layers, there were deeper layers. So in order to get to the...
Yeah, see, I love how we both got the same thing. It's that we can't expand outwards. It's verticality we have to go to. Yeah, so I see what you mean. So that you get to one layer and then you go deeper into deeper strata. That could also work. Yeah.
So you have what's the name of the damn thing? Layer 1 of the infested vaults. But in order
Xeno totally wasn't playing a Minecraft game about going deeper and deeper in different layers yesterday.
Well, I mean, this was actually thinking more about is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Yeah.
But same thing really. But no, my point is that in order to get to the second one, you have to go through the first one.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
In order to get to the third one, you have to go through the first 2. It might be a case of, you can skip the objective if you're just going further down, right? But you have to go, you have to go through them. Yeah? So, anyway,
No, I can
So
get behind that. Yeah,
vertical.
then you go
Also,
to the deeper depths, and that could also get the whatever the infested are coming from is actually at the core of Deimos now, and so you have to work your way down to the core. That would be kind of cool. The heart's not at the core, is it? Better not be.
no, can't possibly be.
Can't possibly be.
Can't
No,
be.
I'd love to.
Right.
I'd love that. There's like some sort of infested like hive at the bottom. Yeah.
Also, can we get rid of the orange crap out of the air, please?
You should make a video complaining about that and explaining why.
I would.
I never saw it until you showed it to me. Now I can't
Deimos.
unsee it.
I would play Deimos simply if that orange crap was gone. Right. Should we go to the replies?
The best. God, I've realised that this was actually about. It was about bounties. I suppose we did stay on bounties the whole time.
Yeah.
The best way to play Cetus bounties is Arcwing only. There you go. Need to cover every inch of the control zone to check for anything. Need to cover every inch of the control zone just to check for anything just on the edge.
I assume that you don't need to check every inch. Just check the edge.
Or if you need to, just Woe to you if it's a green outpost with a mine entrance. They will spawn both above and below ground, and you will fail if playing solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that. That's annoying. Maybe you need a gun that shoots more through walls, like, teleport gun.
Yeah.
Not to mention those stupidly infuriating Dargans that are impossible to hit and single-handedly ruin a liberation objective. Sir, I pop-shot one on with my Necromech with his force ability earlier on, if people were watching. Like, poo, out the air. Great.
I rarely see Dargans. Well, you know what? I don't think there are any Narma Dargans.
Ooh.
Because when we did that Narma bounty, I don't remember seeing any Dargans. I don't think there were any Narma Dargans.
Interesting. Moving on. There's one location I think is specific to the Narma bounties on the plains that I think exemplifies the atrocity. The area feels like it's about 20% of the land area of the plains, and it seemingly starts the bounty stage with the area still full of enemies, so it almost instantly drops you below 50% to fail the bonus objective. Feels bad, man.
Oh, that can't possibly.
I've not seen that myself.
You have to clear out the area before that even starts.
Yeah.
I think this is hyperbolic.
Yeah.
Example, exaggerated.
Part of the issue is that it ramps up to maximum drain fairly quickly, only needing a few soldiers really. But when solo, the number of maximum enemies is lowered, so you actually have fewer sources of gaining control, despite the drain being as fast as if you were a full group. It's definitely not balanced well. That
is a serious problem, though. Because if that cap is decreased just because you're solo, that's wrong. Okay. Right. Okay. Cool. I think we're done on
topics.
This topic.
Yeah, I think we've.
Cool. Right. So let us take away the topics thing at the bottom, and let's move on to graphs. Cool. So
it's a graph.
The first graph is how many Eidolons have you done in the last month? 5% said 26 to 50, 5% said 6 to 25, 37% said 1 to 5, and 53% said 0. There was a more than 50.
Why can't there be a weird, like, sortie reward-esque box for doing at least one Eidolon a day?
It's in the Nightwave.
Randomly.
Yeah, but it's still in the Nightwave. So I'm surprised that is as low as it is.
No, I think I'm shocked it's not lower.
You're shocked it's not lower?
Yeah, I would have thought it would have been like 70%, 0.
The
last month, one was over Christmas, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Right. The next one is, have you tried Eidolons with pubbies? 17% said no, 89% said yes.
You're a no.
I don't know, probably. Have you, so the next one is, have you had a similar negative experience of toxicity while you were doing Eidolon hunts? 44% said
I think
no,
you should have had while doing a public Eidolon hunt, you should have said.
I was going to make a joke then and say, and 100% said yes while with Xeno.
Uh,
But yeah, 56% said yes. So, right. The next one is, do you think DE is too strict with the profanity filtering on equipment names? 26% said no, 74% said yes. Interesting. And then the last one is, how do you feel about Loz's opt-out name censorship idea? 5% said negative, 32% said neutral, and 63% said positive. So it's interesting that players think that our community thinks that it's too strict, but they're fine for an opt-out censorship idea.
yes, no, because DE just flat out bans you from using words. My system would let you have almost whatever words, quite well, apart from maybe some you can't put a threat in there or whatever. But
I'm gonna correct you. They don't ban you from using words. They prevent you from using words.
sorry, yes, yeah, well, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, they prevent you from using words they don't like to use, and then you just can't use them, and you fall foul things because it's just too broad a system. Whereas I'm saying it would release us from that system, so it would be more allowable. But then there is a opt-out profanity filter prevention system, basically, and I think it's fair. Yeah, I think we got quite a lot of positives there. The negative's tiny. That's tiny. That's amazing. I don't see anything of it because it's just like, you know, I don't really care what people name their weapons. I would happily just sit with it on. I don't really care. I don't care that you've named your Zor McStabby 72,000 XS Plus. I have no idea what you're going to call it. You know, who cares? It's just a Zor. You've equipped a Zor. Good job. I don't care. You know, it's a kit gun. You've called it kit gun McKit. I don't know. I don't care. It just says kit gun. I'd leave it on. I think it'd be fine. And because if that's the issue, but then if people want to have their silly names, they can have all the silly names they want, and it won't offend anyone because people just be like, nope.
I was just seeing if there was a correlation between the people that said, do you think DE's too strict, and how do you feel about the opt-out censorship? The people that said no felt positive or neutral. Majority said positive about the opt-out censorship idea. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's also interesting how many people said yes, it's too strict, but also neutral on the opt-out. Sorry, on the censorship idea. Right. Okay. Well, I think we're done for the graphs. So let us move on to the supporter questions.
So first one from Struggle, and I have no idea what this font is. I have no idea how I'm supposed to do this one, so I will just. Oh, right. Before we start the supporter questions, I'm going to ask everyone to make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it if you can. It really helps. This font is labelled Swipe. I don't see why this one's called Swipe. It just looks weird sperm things for words. Like most of my spermy ones.
I'm actually looking at. I keep glancing at it, and it's like, oh my god, it's giving me such a headache.
Yeah. Zrugal also says. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Actually, do you know? Sorry. Before we get to Zrugal says, sorry, I do want to say, just because I noticed we say it for the start, but we don't say it for that. If you want to take part in the graphs and the voting that we've just had for those graphs, go to the link in the description below. Do put in your thing, and that's where you can answer your views to get yourself on your feedback for the graphs. So if you think, people are voting one, go click in that. I don't think we say that enough. Just
Agreed.
Should. Anyway. Zrugal says, what do you consider to be your next milestone for Tenno Clock? Like 500 episodes, or a certain number of subscribers, or maybe a certain guest? Something like that.
I want Steve for episode 500.
Isn't that like, how many years away? Is that like 2 years away, or a year and a year and a half?
It's like a year away.
A year away, okay.
We're episode 425 right now. We'll get to episode 450 in like end of June. So 1 year away, is my hope to get DE Steve. Because then it'll be 10 years of this.
It would be 520, would be that.
Well, I mean, if you want to.
Oh, it'd be actually be a bit longer, I think, because we missed a few weeks. It'd be like 530 or something.
It's the 13th of October was the first episode.
Right, yes, okay, there you go. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I 500. Let's get Steve. That's what I want.
I think it's going to happen. Okay,
whether or not,
you can hope.
Whether or not that'll happen, I don't know.
It'll probably be like, get to 1,000 and then we'll talk. And we're like, all right.
You want 20 years of this?
Yeah, we'll be like, so Warframe ended development 10 years ago. Somehow we're still doing this.
Right.
Some Zephyr plays. A recent question asked of me was on the topic of the different collectibles DE like hiding in the game. There's Curia, songs, and Cephalon fragments all over the different maps. Glassfish in the plains, history records on the Valis, but there aren't any new ones on the Cambrian Drift. Do you think there should be collectibles there? And if you do, what would you like them to be?
No. I don't want to spend any time on the Cambrian Drift because that orange.
Ignoring your absolute pointless hate for freaking orange particles in the air.
Okay, fine. My answer's still no.
My answer's yes. I'd love to know I want to know the days in and out of what an Orokin does. I want to know more about that time. I want to know.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Are you honestly telling me that you didn't find those little cutscenes between? What rank are you with the Intrati? Are you maxed out with the Intrati?
No, but I watched a video saying all the stuff.
Right.
Oh no! When they name each other, you mean?
Yes.
Oh no, that's nothing. No, I don't want that. I want to see it in the past, right? Because I recently was, what was it? I think I saw some video saying about the spookiness of Warframe, and they tried to. I didn't actually listen to it. The whole bloody thing with Mother and the Blue Kuva rubbish.
Oh, the grandmother.
The Knights of Nabras thing with the hands, because that story about things like, and then they made some like puppets, and they got into the puppets using blue kuva, but then the slave snuck in and fed them red kuva, and then they were permanently in those things.
Yeah.
All for 3 seconds when they found some new bodies, shoved themselves in that and drank some more red kuva. It's not a permanent change because nothing the Aura can do is permanent. They can always move on to another body. It's permanent.
But I think the horror story. First off, it's the spooky story.
It's
right?
spooky.
Spooky stories are supposed to be spooky, but majority of the time, if you think it through, like, how the fuck did they actually achieve this?
No, but it's the same thing Grandmother does. The ending is rubbish. That's all she does.
It's like,
it was me all along.
Returned alive. If no one returned alive, how do you know the story? Wait.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But it's just stupid because it's like, it doesn't make sense for the Orokin. It's like, oh no, the Orokin were then trapped in those bodies. What, did the other Orokin then just let them do that? And then people could see like, oh, this is how we trap the Orokin in bodies? Hell no. They do like, oh, we better get them some new bodies and stick them in them. Oh yeah, look, they're back. Oh yeah, don't worry, slaves. It doesn't make sense. They'd be out of those bodies in a day. They've moved on some new ones. It's so stupid. And it's not scary at all. Like, oh yeah, they're permanently in those bodies now. No, they ain't.
I think I would like to have like diary entries from maybe, God, the grandfather. Is it Arblast? I can't remember.
Oh no, I don't. No. Sorry. When I say I wanted Orokin stuff, I don't want stuff about the bloody family. I wanted generic stuff. I wanted more stuff, more characters. More...
Yeah, I was going to say his assistant. But
yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, I wanted more characters, more people. I want to know about. Yeah. How many Orokin were there? What did they do? Did some of them just grow flowers all day? And I want one to explain his daily life about growing flowers.
Totally.
Right, moving on. Where are we up to? Last one from Zephyr Plays. Given that the estimate from last week's Tenno Clock was absolutely, and with almost comedically timing, proved wrong by the announcement that the next dev stream will be on 28th of January, we now have a resurgence.
Fuck off! I said the 28th.
Yeah, you did. January. Yeah, you did. I was like, oh no, it's going to be February. Blah, 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 blah. Negative Nancy. That's what I am.
Nelly.
Negative Nelly, okay, yeah.
Norman.
Negative Norman. Negative Nabros. Ha ha. Where are we up to? We now have resurgence of a topic that came up in middle of 2019. Announced at TennoCon, players were just as excited to find out about more information as they were with it. Wait, what? Oh, announced that TennoCon players were just as excited to find out more information as they were with the announcement of the new war. So it's time again. Deviri when?
Oh, fuck off!
Please.
No.
Please. Oh, it's just gonna be. You're right. Sorry, it's Stadium, isn't it? Yeah. Making a good point here. All the people are going to be asking for in freaking chat on this thing. And I bet if I went to I think it's 9 pages already. There's just people like, oh, when are we going to get Deviri? When Deviri? Oh my god, Deviri. Can we have Deviri? Deviri's going to be amazing. Oh, Deviri. It's like, I don't want it. Not now.
In fact, I'd prefer Deviri over another cinematic quest.
Oh, you know Deviri's going to be to have a cinematic quest and an open world, and it'll take him 2 years.
Just have a quest. It could just have a quest.
No, it won't. It can't. It has to be both. You know, it's going to have both. It's going to, or it'll start out not having it, and then they'll be like, oh, but we could put this in the quest, and it'll be the first cinematic quest involving an open world.
And then we're going to have horses, and then everyone's just going to use their arc wings anyway.
I don't think they'll let Warframes on there.
Why? Who says that?
Because it's a paradox.
Right, okay. Do you genuinely think that after the intro quest to Deviri's paradox, the Deviri paradox, you're not going to be able to run around like a lunatic with your Warframe? The thing that you've put the most effort. Look at New War. Right? You couldn't have it, and at the end of New War, you got your Warframe back. It's going to be
and what did that teach you?
Same thing. What?
And what did that teach you?
We can't have nice things.
That we can't. No, we can't. That the Warframe just ruined everything. You know what? This game. I feel this game is moving towards less Warframe. It's less frame. So they'll be like, you know what? People really enjoyed this whole stuff about just going along as the Drifter and this stuff like these fights, which we could actually scale based on the fact because we limited the player power and we knew exactly what they were taking in. Oh well, let's have this new open world be exactly that with nothing to do with Warframes because that's what the game is moving towards. It's nothing to do with Warframes. The game.
Yeah.
You know I'm right.
Yeah, you are.
You know it to be true.
Anyway. Is that it for the supporter questions?
That is it for the supporter questions, and it makes me very sad. But let's go on to
community responses.
Community responses. So, Peter Graver, I do like. Oh, okay.
I need you to do that because otherwise it doesn't do the timestamp.
Community responses. Peter Graver, I do like the idea of this toggle to be able to filter names, but Xeno is wrong. Kit guns and Zors do have a base name. The base name is based on the blade for Zors and barrel for kit guns. If they didn't have the names, there'd be nothing to differentiate them for Rivens. Rivens do not use the name you picked, they use the base name. Easy example being the infamous Catchmoon.
Can't you just say they use the blade or the... I mean, I don't think they have a base because whenever you make it, it just says kit gun.
Peter Graves says, JJ24, the original post that mentions that bass doesn't work, but bass blaster does. The filter is so weird. Bass, mass, glass, lass, and pass all make it through the filter. While I understand the annoyance, OP needs to be more clever. Baritone blaster is another version. Adapt to these limitations and become stronger.
Lol.
Relix. Loz, did you say you use trade chat? Use markets, you poor person. No, what I do is I start with the trade chat, do a filter to see if the thing I want has been there. If it's not, I go straight to Warframe Market, so I use both. Recruiting chat is also used by many people for rad shares, so that's still very common. Re-operators, they don't get shields. Mine has almost 2k health, fast health regen, and almost 4 heals per dash, making PNW? Oh, the new war boss fights are a complete joke, but they don't get shields. Okay, they don't get shields. I'll be shocked if they have a dev stream in January. The next dev stream is on 20th of January. Yes. Thank you, Relix. Yep. I'm shocked. I thought they would just be like, meh. Well, I thought they'd have one, like a special one, right after the release of New War, like within a few days, but they didn't. Because they did that for one, I think the new War they did. No, the War Within.
War Within.
There was like a dev stream.
On the day.
Yeah, on the day. And it was just them being like, oh, isn't this cool? Isn't this cool? That was all it was. So, yeah. Stromber Shell. LOL, imagine being the guy Xeno calls out every time he tells that Law of Retribution trial story. And then Drugel said, I'm sorry. I was like, I apologize. I don't know, but yeah, that's what Stromber Shell said.
I bet it's the one about, people can't understand. It's the counting one. It's always the sodding counting one.
Yeah.
Always the sodding counting one.
I'm heel about topic one. When I farmed Eidolons for Focus and Arcanes, I encountered this problem quite often. I do almost everything in public groups, but I literally stopped doing hunts in public and decided to just go solo, just so I didn't have to deal with toxicity. Many people take Eidolon hunts way too seriously because they make money out of it. That's quite alright in organised groups, but the big mistake is trying to do that in public groups and acting like a petulant child when it doesn't go your way. I'd very much like a group finder system for this one very special edition, an expected number of captures or expected time to capture option, so people who would want to go way too seriously and be assholes about it get boxed together and leave the rest of us be.
Mm.
Right, and there's a big one which I'm going to try and read through because I think you might like this one because I was right. So Frosthawk 2815. Okay. Eidolons could really benefit from more types of Eidolons. They're inspired by Monster Hunter, but they have nothing that makes those fights interesting apart from needing the correct tools to be taken out. The fights aren't dynamic enough. It just walks around spamming AoE attacks, and if it does target anyone, it doesn't turn to face you or even look in your direction, it just targets you. Post-New War, there should be half-dead sentients everywhere, so more diverse environments to fight Eidolons like Orb Valis, maybe even regular mission-type missions on places like Mars. These new Eidolons could be smaller, but play in a style more similar to Monster Hunter or Horizon Zero Dawn combat. This will increase the more dynamic gameplay than clear shields, pop, cherry, run, or tank, scream, repeat. The core mechanics would be the same, like shooting specific parts to damage for a big flinch, very satisfying. Due to their smaller size, some more direct Warframe powers, like crowd control powers, could have limited effectiveness. Using invincibility will guarantee not being targeted in an intense fight. The targeting phases could be limited by a part break threshold that only let you damage the main health pool in blocks after you've broken apart. Warframe really relies on its art department and its design aesthetic, so even if they ended up copying Monster Hunter and Horizon with stylized animals, Warframe art department proved they could do a good job at sentient animal designs like with Archons. In terms of difficulty, I would want to get away from these. I would go away from these things are so difficult because it's a bullet sponge. People always speed, run, and optimize, but ultimately, I think the tankiest new Eidolons I have in mind would be the second current Eidolon, and the challenge should come from avoiding fast but well telegraphed attacks and trying to squeeze in attacks of your own in between. Whew.
There was a lot there.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I'm actually very tempted to do this now. Last night, Loz and I had a very long discussion, and I was trying to convince him. I don't know if I succeeded. I think I did. That the damage system right
Oh
now
yeah.
for Warframe is way too overcomplicated. And I'm probably going to do a Xeno Codex on this because I couldn't believe how passionate I felt about it
He
after I'd
was.
spoken to
It
you.
was like we were playing with Nazareth and playing for Nazareth. And Nazareth went, "It's time you guys go to bed because it's late." And then Zeno just started talking and just went,
I think it was like for an extra hour and a half. I
"Yeah,
was ranting about this. And the problem is, like, the complexity of the system makes it very difficult for DE to come up with simplistic enemies to fight because there's always going to be some clever jammy bastard that comes up with a way to murder, like, there's this different content, you know, with outbreaking a sweat. And how do you tailor the stuff for that? It's like, you have people with, oh, I made 100% status chance on shotguns, and then everyone starts using shotguns and breaks the meta. What was the one that happened recently? The Nell, the one you were doing
oh yeah, that's the new
with
one. I think
that
now, yeah,
augment,
yeah,
and I really feel that D struggle to make enemies that are a challenge because where is the power range? Where is the expected ability of the player? It just doesn't exist. The whole reason why we lost our warframes for the majority of the new war is because they couldn't easily control that. So they had to bring us back to basics.
yep,
And I feel we need a damage 3.0 that rips out a lot of the overcomplicated nature
mm,
of the damage system so we can have enemies that are interesting like this.
yeah, and so that instead of the depth in one system that we've got, because that's the thing, there's so many options you can do. Simplify it, but we've got more tools. So you go that you have to use your arc gun for this, you have to use your operator for this to allow those options. Because at the moment they release a new gun, and I'm like, well, it's just another assault rifle. Maybe this one just makes all the ones before redundant because it's got better stats. That's the only thing I can think of. And it's like, so what's the point of all these other guns? Rivens were supposed to be so you can almost play any gun how you like. It's just it's so confusing. But I don't know if they can, because I think they'd have to redo Rivens, and that's the big issue. I think the Riven market is just too big a pull and too functional part of the game that they can't redo the damage system because of it. It's too
that's a good point. That is a very good point. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, how many people would throw their toys out the pram just because they couldn't sell their perfect Riven, which they finally got?
Maybe that's something I need to tackle in a video.
Indeed, many things. If you've got more comments, do put them in the description below to this video, because I read every single comment before we start the next one. So I promise you, at the very least, it might not get read out, but it will be at least have eyes and cognitive functions put upon it.
Unlike what I have right now, because I'm tired. Why did I stay up till 5 in the morning?
Yes, why is that? Anyway, should we move on?
Yes. What's the next part? Memes. So hit the meme.
I already did. I was waiting for you to just look at the screen, but you did.
I was looking at the screen the whole time. I didn't see it.
It did pop
up. Hold on. It did pop up. Good. Right. So let's do the memes.
First you're checking the timestamp.
I did.
Okay. First meme. So all these memes are from the r/memeframe subreddit, and links are in the description of this video. We claim nothing from the amazing artists that put all the work on that, so do check it out on the memes. Give them an upvote, and if you find them funny, and do go check out r/memeframe. Yeah, none of these are not made by us. The first one, muscle memory, is something else. Warframe players when they try to bullet jump in other games.
I mean, that's kind of a very disturbing picture.
It is.
Not wrong.
Not wrong at all. Right, meme number 2, which is titled, "How the heck am I supposed to craft Harrow now? Well, guess I'll use one of the other 100 chassis sitting there." You acquired 2 Harrow chassis blueprints, 2 stolen.
Yeah.
Point of view, you finally get illustrious Harrow chassis, and it's stolen away. How many do you have? I actually looked. I have like over 100.
Oh, it's the regular. I don't know.
You just get so many of them. It's the new Oberon. Just the chassis.
The only Oberon's no longer Oberon.
I know. That's why I say it's the new Oberon, because
yeah.
Right, moving on to number 3. Already well known, but "Oh, Panzer of the Lake, what is your wisdom? The Warframes available on the market for Plat are overpriced."
Cool.
Panzer of the Lake.
Why? Okay.
Panzer of the Lake. Gotta ask it for important questions.
But I don't understand why there's a Panzer. Fuck, what are they called? What's the freaking? It's not Vopafiler. It's the other one. I can't remember. But why is it in the bottom picture but not the top picture? It's confusing me.
Never question the memes. Next one. Saw an ad yesterday. Had to do this. Still TS 420.
Yep.
Meme number 5. Point of view, you just loaded into the Sortie Spy.
Oh God! Oh dear God!
Yep. And final meme of the week. "Oh, Ballas, Jade Light, Margulis. Why would the Tenno do this?" Dead Margulis.
Oh, I like that a lot. That's funny.
There we go. Right, that is it for the memes. So I will now go back and we'll push the final segment of this week, which is the community shoutouts, which Xeno has a fair amount this week, it seems.
Yeah, so I don't think any of these are duplicates, but there was a couple I wanted to get that were like right at the end of like scrolling down Twitter. I'm like, I don't think I've put these in. I need to make sure that they're in. So the first one, very recent, is "There's Always Time for Fun" by Primed
before
Average.
Starts this, I want to point out that Xeno finds these mainly on Twitter, and all the links to the description of these arts we claim no ownership of them. They're on Twitter.
Yeah.
So do check them out and check out these amazing artists. Do follow them because they do good stuff.
We don't believe in NFTs. Moving on.
No. So shout number 1. So there's always time for fun. So
for fun by Primed Average.
Hey Svev, let's go snowboarding. Sorry kid, my kid drives a shop. No, I have no idea. Oh, very good, very good. How droll. Right. Number 2.
The second one is the Tenant Archiplasmal Work in Progress by John Berger.
Have we had him on?
Yeah, we have.
I'm joking. I know. I remember that because do you know? I actually remember because he was awesome. He was really awesome. One of the many tasks that were done in last night's stream: assembled and applied a glossy clear coat to the Tenet Archiplasma ammo drone. She all pretty now. Oh my god! Just so good.
Very much so.
Do follow him. Right. That'll look amazing when finished. Do not miss out on that. Telling everyone. Right, number 3.
Right. Is Sorrowful by Vorpalez. I can't pronounce it.
Palazes. Sorrowful. New War left me heartbroken, and I'm still trying to cope. Yeah, because of how badly they butchered the sentience. Right.
Poor Loz. The fourth community shout out is Caliban by Kurdi.
That's really cool. I still get surprised by his peg leg every time. I don't think I've got that weapon. I didn't get the weapon yet. Yeah.
All right. The fifth community shout out is Wisp by Joriel.
You shouldn't pet the holy wisp, but I will. The corpus.
She's the ephemeris, right? 6 is Via Torres by Niram.
Wow.
Yep. Saw this one. I was like, damn.
He dropped his sword. Oh wait, they're falling.
The seventh
priorities.
One...
Weapon first.
The seventh. Well, I mean, it all survived. Anyway, the 7th one is Power of Destruction by Losoetude. I cannot remember what this pose is from.
The pose gets me. Just with the leg up and the butt.
Yeah, I just cannot remember what the pose is from. It's a really famous, more modern picture.
Is it?
But yeah, it's on the same vein as like Kim Kardashian trying to break the internet with her butt.
Right.
Well, I just cannot remember what the pose. But anyway, yeah. I saw this, so I just laughed and I thought it was lovely. Right, and then the 8th one is New War Ordis by La Apple Pie, right? And I saw this, and what do you see, Loz? Emergency rations. Good answer.
Yeah. New War Ordis is only got totally not because I want to redraw the first transmission.
No, it's the third one. Oh,
no, I'm reading out what it says. Redraw the first transmission where it was framed at an awkward angle. Oh, yeah, the third one. Right. Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, this is Genshin Impact.
yeah. So, what's it called? Emergency rations, Paimon. There we go. So that's it for the community shoutouts. We are wrapping this episode up. Loz
I want it. I want this in game.
Now you want it.
I just look at the other pictures, just so people know, and just a reason to go into think. There's actually 2 other images that go with this one. I think they're actually the more complete ones that went with that, and do check them out in the description below. Yep.
Right, so that is it for this week's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Yeah, this is Xeno and Loz babbling away at you about Warframe, fixing all the Warframe's wrongs. That sounds wrong.
Well, no, we'll assume soon by next time, won't we have the... Yes, there'll be in the dev stream, so we will, I'm sure, have lots to talk about. We'll probably recap it for next time.
There's lots to talk about.
Probably right after the dev stream, actually. Right. Oh, damn that. Yeah, I've talked about that. Right, anyway. Yeah, that's it. We'll see everyone next time.
Bye.
Bye.